Welcome back, everybody, to another week of the weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Krosh, joined always by my co-host, Danny Vargas.
Hiya.
And Dan Jing.
Good morning.
If you're not familiar with what we do, we come to you each and every week, podcasting services of your choice. Around tables like this, we sit around, we have fun discussions about comics, games, movies, video games, everything in between. We usually have fun. We hope you have fun with us. It's episode 128. We're packing bags we'd be back by now from Comic-Con when this is out. Comic-Con's right around the corner, so we'll be at that. We'll probably have more to talk about that and maybe any cool stuff that comes out of that later. But till then, guys, what have you been up to?
I've been watching a lot of anime.
Anime.
A lot of anime.
You know what the best one is?
So far, the one I'm currently on.
No, the Hank Hill one.
King of the Hill, baby. Propane Evangelion. I showed my girlfriend and she's like, what? I don't understand. I'm like, it's so funny. Anyway, what have you been watching?
The one I'm currently watching right now is, what is it called? How to Make a Boring Girlfriend, I think.
What?
Is the name of it. It's the whole concept.
Do tell.
The whole concept is the protagonist is a otaku for dating sims.
Okay.
And he also reads the anime novels, the manga.
Yeah.
And so he's fixated on making, like, his life goal is to make his own dating sim game.
Okay.
And as the story progresses, you find out that he's like trying to get certain people to help him make the game, and you realize like these people that he knows are not just average people. They're one of them is already, like, they're all in high school, but one of them is already famous for writing manga. Like they're huge. She makes it's a female, and she makes like the love stories essentially. Okay. And she's so she doesn't tell anyone, but he knows because of childhood things, which as the show progresses, it depicts. And then the other one is famous for drawing manga. And they're also famous, but no one knows because it has their identity because they're only in high school, so it'd be weird if everyone knew. And he also knows this person through history of childhood. So there's this guy who in high school, as of current, no one, like, he's whatever, but he knows two of the most famous people when it comes to the manga industry. And he's like, can you help me make my game? And the story just progresses. And you find out that each of these two people like this guy. Because in the beginning, the girl who drew, she thought it was weird to draw this kind of stuff, and he was like, "No, this is really cool." And like he introduced her to all this stuff, and he's like, "Oh my god!" But later on, like she realizes like if people find out about this, they'll think I'm a weird person too. So she kind of cuts ties with him and all that. And then the other girl, it's a more recent. Well, they meet more recently, but. He's always been like, you know, if you create something that's you, like, you don't ask for like help from someone that doesn't know anything. And so she starts falling in love with him. So she asks him like, is this story right? And he's like, don't ask me. I don't want to answer that. And she feels like that's where he's like, I don't like you, essentially. Oh. And so it like those are the moments, but like it's later in life for them. Interesting. I don't know. And just it's interesting. Like they've gotten to the point where like they're creating the game now, and it's got a good vibe. It's got good like. Is
it new or has it been around?
It's been around. So the first season I saw was in 24. Like it came out 2014, and then this second season, which I didn't know existed until I searched it, was 2017.
Okay.
So,
cool.
But that was really fun. I looked at or there's two new I'm watching two that are currently ongoing. So it's only on the second. The first one is I would protect my daughter even from a demon lord, I think, and it's based in like. Is
it common that anime show names aren't like just two words? It's like it's a sentence.
Most of them are sentences.
Okay, it's just something I'm noticing. Like not so much like the Dragon Balls and the One Pieces, and those, but like when you go into the to the not the nitty gritty or but like when you're an avid fan and you're watching all these other ones, and you're seeing like the titles are like that one weekend when I was at summer camp is the name of the title.
Yeah, I mean even like Boku no Hero,
My Hero
Academia. It's longer than that. It's like there's
the
an even
actual
longer
translation.
Well, in Japanese, it's like that's the shortened version, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, the actual titles I think are longer or something like that.
That's interesting. It's just a funny little thing.
But yeah, I don't know. I've just
getting a groove.
Yeah, I've gotten in groove, and I haven't been playing anything at all.
Hey, sometimes you get that groove.
Anime.
That's what they need. They need to make an anime.
A World of Warcraft?
RPG, exactly.
They're like BlizzCon. We have him.
That's our next Titan 2, essentially.
Cool.
But so I've been doing that. What else? I wanted to watch that scary, suspenseful Midsummer. I didn't end up watching it. I watched anime.
Probably better.
No, my sister.
Probably happier, I should say.
It was my sister's. Well, it wasn't her 15th birthday already passed, but we ended up doing this weekend her 15th like Mexican quinceañera. We ended up getting more stuff than we needed. We have like a ton of leftover beer, so if anyone wants some, just let me know.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, seriously.
No, it was funny. Like,
cool.
Had the photographers who were there for pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, good time. I mean,
Nice.
meeting family members you haven't seen in a long time, so nothing much after that.
What are you up to?
Some crazy stuff. I'm trying to remember besides the big event that happened. Didn't watch anything. No
more
movies.
Stranger Things?
So I downloaded Stranger Things. I'm gonna watch it. I know I'm gonna
offline?
watch it on Comic-Con line waiting. So I'm prepared. I'm fucking prepared. We will finish Stranger Things. For sure.
It's like, don't believe it.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
What are you going for right now with it?
So I'm trying to beat it to get every unlockable.
Okay.
So
Because I see you playing it on your stream.
I'm on the last run.
Okay.
And it's hard. I don't remember why it's so fucking difficult. I thought.
Is it because of just everything hits like a tank, or?
Yeah, hits harder. They're more aggressive. Like they just won't stop rushing. And
So I randomly jumped in your stream, and I thought it was a new game because I saw a person you're with have armor.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "What the? Is this Ghosts and Goblins or whatever? Ghosts and Ghouls?" And then
It's Mario Maker.
And then you did you cut a clip where like you let this person get crushed, nothing happened.
yeah, dude, she's invincible, dude. It makes pro mode a little bit easier.
Well, because
I
you don't have to worry about that
her.
person.
Yeah.
And also she's like a target, so they can
Aggros.
go after. Yeah, and just like it's still hard.
funny.
Though.
Yeah.
It's still hard.
But she can't. She literally just can't die, pretty much.
Nope, she can't die.
With that armor, that's because of the armor, and that's not a cheat code. That's just something you unlock.
Yeah.
have to
It's like a
unlock it.
suit you unlock.
Gotcha.
I plan on doing a 2 stream a day. I wanted
2 stream a day?
2 streams in a day.
What do you mean?
And then people, yeah, that's what my coworker told me. He's like, wait, how's that possible? I was like, well, I wake up early, stream for like 2-3 hours. And she just started laughing. Like, you wake up early? Like,
Yeah, seriously.
I know, right? I was like, fuck. But yeah, 2 different games. I want to do that's so Moon Owl is a big streamer. He's like 5th, dude.
Oh yeah, I know. He does Mario
doing
Maker
Mario
a lot
Maker,
right
yeah.
now.
He's 5th, but the way he grew, when I went to TwitchCon, he wasn't as big as he was, but he did a 2 stream per day.
Okay.
So I want to test it. I'm going to do it for.
Is he down to just one stream now?
He's just down to do one. He does multiple streams. I've noticed he does 2 or 3 a day. Like he'll just go
Yeah, I
on
saw
one.
something one day where he's like, "All right, we're gonna do like we did our morning stream, took a break during the day, came back for an evening stream."
Yeah, I mean that's it. But he was doing that when he had a full-time job. That was just
Okay.
crazy.
I tried it,
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna survive, dude.
dude.
It's
I
an
would
experience.
because I would go in the morning to like the gym. I would wake up at
Yeah.
5, and I was like, you know what? Let me try doing streaming, and you could see how it started. Like I would wash my face, I would take showers in the morning, and I would get in front of the camera, and you can see my like eyes just like dead. And I'm like, I can't look happy this early in the morning,
Dead
babe.
cells.
Yeah, Dead Cells stream.
So I gave up on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm
Okay.
thinking Breath of the Wild. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm not.
What if you did? Do you feel like something more like intense would be better for morning, or something more relaxing would be better for morning?
Ooh,
Like
that's
if,
a
for
good
instance, if
question.
you did like Tetris, would that wake you up? A game that would
It
like.
won't wake me up, but I mean,
Would there be a game that would like?
I think the morning stream should be more intense than the night stream.
Okay.
Because night stream is, I noticed the viewers are East Coast, which is weird. There's not a lot of
Yeah,
West
they-
Coast late too. It's
Yeah,
like
that'd be
3 in the
super
morning
late.
for them. But
Yeah, it's like college kids.
Tetris 99.
Got your
You've got
your splat.
Splatoon. Fuck, man. I feel like I play like I'm in slow motion. Like when I was playing, I was like, dude, I feel sluggish. I don't
Yeah.
feel right.
I was playing with the SNES controller. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it out with this to see how it feels. And like either that or just how I was playing, I felt like I feel like I'm going at like half speed. What? Why? Like I can't.
Would you think it's the skin? You think that's a
I don't
possibility?
think so. I think it was just my response. Like I was
Yeah.
playing tired, but there was just something I'm like I couldn't get myself out of that. Like it felt like you're like trudging through water trying to run. Did you get you say you got the skin?
Got the skin. Got third place. But fuck, man, it's hard. There's too many killers now, dude.
Yeah, there's some like
Like-
they got the strats down.
Yeah.
They get the badges and then they fucking go for the throat.
When you subbed to me, that was the one I was supposed to win, and I fucked
You
it up.
fucked him up.
I fucked it up.
He's like, oh,
I
gold
had
marble.
six-
No, man.
6 KOs, and I was like, dude, okay, this is because you need to have. I feel like you need to have 2 KOs at least when you get to the final round. If you don't have 2 KOs, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, you're fighting.
So
an
what do
uphill
the
battle.
KOs do?
They make it so when you send blocks,
It gives more
it
powerful.
like it gives you even more to
Gotcha.
dump on them. So it's almost impossible to come back when someone's got 6 badges and they dump a full Tetris on you, and you're like, what the fuck? Eight rows of
Yeah.
blocks, versus like if someone doesn't have any badges and it's the end, they just drop like 3 or 4 on you, and you're like, man, pop, pop, pop. Return fire. Yeah, that can make a difference.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna play Uncharted 4.
It's finally happening.
Is that the morning stream? You should do it in the morning.
No, that's a night stream.
When you're tired as shit and you
No,
can't.
that's a night stream. Dude, I don't know. See, I'm torn.
What, morning stream where he just literally dies every 5 seconds? I remember doing a kill count for you one stream.
I want to do a morning stream where it's like games that are not streamable.
Stardew Valley.
Mass Effect.
Oh, okay.
Like the games that are not streamable, but then
Why
what's
is
the
it-
point? I was like,
Girlfriend
thinking-
Reviews is doing Mass Effect right now.
Right, but like, I think when if you do everything, like if you're like a completionist, I think it's a very boring game to watch. But if you like just go straight to the,
Sure,
you,
okay.
the you know,
Fair.
the important, and at least when they make the video, they're not going to show all the boring parts.
Right,
They're gonna
right. But
cut
when
straight
I'm
to
watching them stream, they're going through.
but
all
they
the
have banter.
Yeah,
Like,
they
I mean,
do,
they're
they do,
it's
they
not
do.
just the gameplay that you're there for. You know.
And I'm gearing up for Comic Con. So
What are you gearing up for?
just
in
like
what way?
looking at
Any
autographs.
pro tips to anyone that is just coming because this episode comes out after?
Okay, so pro tips: bring water.
Or bottles.
Yeah,
to
bottles
refill.
because there's stuff you
There's
can
like
always.
stations now.
Yeah,
That's a big.
yes.
They're doing more to support that.
Comfortable shoes,
Hell yeah.
comfortable clothes,
Yeah.
snacks.
Yeah.
If you're waiting in line, hat. If you're waiting outside, in
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
hat for sure.
line.
That covers
great.
your ears too, because
Shit, this should have been a top. I'd like people who I want to meet, signatures. So I'm getting like stuff ready.
Do you have a list of people in mind?
I made a
a rough.
I made a spreadsheet at work.
Really?
Yeah.
Excel?
With time. Yep. Excel. With times.
Are these people that you could realistically get a chance to see, or it's like fucking 1 in a million sort of thing?
One is really hard. Frank Miller.
Oh. They canceled his panel.
They canceled his panel, but he's doing some signings at some booths, so you have to go
So
there.
maybe.
I
That'll
don't
be
know
tough.
how bad the Cuphead creators are going to be.
I think that would be a tough one.
So they're only giving out 400 tickets on Friday. So I got to get there Friday morning.
After your morning stream?
I feel like it's not hard, Cuphead, because it's so last minute and no one knows about it. But the other guys are kind of easy to get. Actually, Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez is going to be hard too. That's
going to be a
that's
tough one.
ticketed. And
I think of comic book related things, that would be a hot one.
I'm
to-
gonna laugh when you get there. And it's like completely ended. It's like,
I-
who's this? Joe Hill?
Because yeah, when we went to the was it Meltdown Comics in LA or
Yes.
Midtown? I forget.
Meltdown.
Meltdown. fucking line around the block for Grant Morrison.
Oh,
when
yeah,
I was
yeah.
at Comic-Con, literally, people were standing in front of his to get to someone else. I was like, Grant Miller?
But just to throw a counter, I did meet Grant Morrison at Meltdown, and one person was
another time?
Yeah. This is
It's
after
a hit or
when-
miss.
This is,
It's like-
this is when like Trump won the election, and I don't know, maybe that just did not bring people out. Or something.
Maybe.
People were just devastated.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got a gun pulled on me tonight, which
Wait,
is
what?
crazy.
A real.
A real gun. The guy shot in the air. I thought he shot my car, and I don't want to get into details, but it was pretty much road rage.
Damn.
And I was like, holy shit, this is not the scariest thing I've ever experienced. It's like the second or third, but
It's still
yeah,
up there?
It's up there.
Dude, that's like
Fuck.
you dropping an anvil on us, dude. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, so that's like, it was nuts.
Be careful out there.
Yes, please.
I'm glad you're
please.
okay.
Yeah. Very glad you're okay.
But the bright side, content.
Now I know why Dr. Disrespect wears like a fucking...
But I mean, this is like another topic. Should I even go to the police? Because I don't remember jack shit. I just remember what he looks like, and that's it. And then don't know the car, color, license plate.
I mean, I think the most you could do is give a general like thing to watch out for, so maybe in the future they could prevent or like be on the lookout for stuff like that. But I don't know how you do that. Like, that is a tough thing just to like identify and with the few things you know. But glad you're okay.
But I'll make light of the situation always. that's the way I cope with it. So I'll make fun.
Better
of it.
than drinking.
Water.
Meanwhile, he's like, "This isn't water." What's that movie with Denzel Washington where he's got like the vodka? He's the pilot.
Flight.
Flight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Flight.
he's just like. Not as exciting as that, but I played a lot of Destiny. I got my moments for the shirt, so I got the shirt.
But
But
you
now
need-
I'm like 4 triumphs from completing the whole seal. So I got some time.
But the
So-
biggest thing is the raid.
yeah, 2 of them are the raid. The other 2, actually, one of them is actually more frustrating because no one is playing this game type. Like, I've tried looking at LFG, no one is playing this game. It's that Reckoning. Because this one, like, the level 3 version of it, the incentive was the loot, RNG for the loot. But people found out that the most in desire loot is you can get from a level 2 version of this activity, which is easier, less frustrating, less room, more room for error, and people just grind that for the loot.
But you need
What I
right.
need the level 3 for is there's armor tied to each level of this. There's the level 1 armor, which is like a set, and when you get a set, it gives you a buff in another game type. And one of the triumphs is win a game of Gambit, which is this, with the shirt I'm wearing a full set of the level 3 armor. So I just need that level 3 armor. That's the hard part of it, is getting the level 3 armor. But to get a group to find, every time I look at LFG, I'm like, no one, fucking crickets over here. Like, there's nothing. So I'll hopefully find something, but I think that's a bigger roadblock than the raids, honestly. So played Destiny, played some Mario Maker, I got my Splatfest stuff. I'm going to try, because during Comic-Con weekend, I'm going to be coming back home a little bit early, but Splatfest is that weekend too. The final Splatfest for Splatoon 2, and it's Chaos versus Order is the subject. And I was like, oh shit.
Little finger.
Chaos is a ladder.
Yeah. We'll see if I get to play that or not. And then playing a lot of Pokemon Go. Hopefully play some at Comic-Con. That's one of my favorite things is just play Pokemon at Comic-Con.
Do you think they have the unknowns?
Maybe. They might. They just updated some stuff that looks like it could have an event. I hope. Maybe. We'll see. They actually just had a random collab event with One Piece. Speaking of anime. They're going to have Pikachus with straw hats on them.
Oh, nice.
I was like, that's pretty cool. I guess it's the 22nd year birthday of One Piece.
Oh, okay.
And so they're doing like on July 22nd, they're going to release.
And I think the anime is still going?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, there's like new movies and shit coming out. And then the crazy thing was I went to an industrial goth club and
Now you're gone.
fuck, man, that was the weirdest fucking night ever. It was cool. I wore these. I had just cut my hair, so I had like this like sort of buzzed hair, and then these glasses. I was like, I look like I belong
Steampunk?
in like a Euro underground like
Yeah, you
club.
just need the coat, dude.
I had like a black shirt. My friends were trying to convince me. They were like, "We need to get you clothes for this," because they were like, dress code is enforced.
Yeah.
And we went to Hot Topic and Spencer's, and I almost got a fishnet shirt. I was like, "Nah, all my chest is just gonna be like, it's gonna look awkward." So I just went with like a Gengar shirt. I'm like, "This is fucking." I get there. There's a guy. There's an Asian guy with like this. What do they call those? Like those old-fashioned like newspaper boy caps.
Oh yeah. The spoofy, spunky.
It's like it dips forward.
Yeah.
And then he's wearing a white polo
What
and
the-
like golf pants.
What
And
the-
this guy was going hardcore dancing, but like he walks in, he's like,
He's
and then he's
anti-goth.
like, I was like, what the fuck? A Mountie showed up,
I don't know.
like you know the Canadian Rangers.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
full Mountie outfit. He's just like. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like, I thought dress code was
4 Mortal Kombat characters, I think, maybe. When I was scared, I just put my glasses on. I was like, I'm hiding.
And then it was
Because
like,
half the people disappeared when I put the glasses on at night. And then there was like people with like metal grinders to going to the music on stage, like
and it's just making sparks.
sparks. And then people were dancing in front of it. I was like,
Wow.
and then at one point they start pointing the sparks into their face.
Oh, shit.
They're like, I was like, nightmare, nightmare. But they actually played music I know. Like it wasn't like metal screamer.
Yeah.
It was more techno, house like
Yeah.
kind of music. I was like, I know this music. What the fuck? They played like some weird Doctor Who remix.
That's funny.
And then this is the funny part. So it was like $10 tickets to get in. It's in like down like near LA
Yeah.
area. We go and it's this like building that was like refitted. So it wasn't cramped. I was expecting cramped. So then they're like, oh, VIP lounge for like an extra $5. You get in early, you get access to this VIP lounge, which is like you get private area for drinks. And then we went, and we're like, all right, cool. We get early, we got in, and like the stairs, the arrow points downstairs. Like, all right, cool. We immediately enter what looks like an El Torito style like family restaurant. And the people in there are from that restaurant. They're not from this club.
Yeah.
It was like a shared space.
Sure.
And so like the table they had was on the opposite end, and we're walking by all these people
Who are normal.
who are just normie families, and like we're in full like attire. Like I'm the most mild, but like my friends weren't, and I was like, this just keeps getting weirder and fucking weirder. And then we go back up, and then all of a sudden the other VIP area was where people could like do like crazy kinky crazy shit. And I was like, watching people do that, I was like,
And then you realize there's normies in there too.
no, that one no. But there was furries there. There's a chick with a tail. I was like, okay.
They're growing on you, huh?
I was like, Vargas. Yeah, it was an experience.
I'm glad
So
you
that's
had-
the weirdest experience you've ever had?
I mean, it was the weirdest combination of things I'd seen in his space.
I think that should be a topic because I got one fucking weird as fuck. Soon to be a YouTube video that I forever say. Weirdest experience, real
Just
life.
be careful of the terminology you use because they'll be after you after.
With the guns.
Never for nothing.
If you want to keep joking about that.
Yeah, it's one of our fans. That's what it was. Yeah, I mean, just it was like I was like, okay, I'm going in expecting one thing, and I saw 8 other things at the same place, like the Mountie, the golf
Right.
guy, the fucking El Torito bar.
I just think like the golf guy.
I have a video of him. It is the funny because like the video starts. I was like, I'm just gonna take a video of him with just
And
because
he's
of his
normal.
clothes.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like sways, and then like the music keeps like. It's like the Matrix, like
Yeah.
at the beginning when Trinity meets Neo, and like all of a sudden he's just like. He just like goes from corner to corner. Like I was like, what the fuck? He just flipped the switch. So yeah,
That's funny.
that was wild. Yeah, that's it.
Let's keep them on, dude. You look good.
It's hot.
Red pill, blue pill.
All the pills, bro.
At the party, I'm assuming.
I got home. I'm like, I can't sleep. I saw too many things. I'm playing Destiny. All right, you guys want to get in topics?
Yeah, let's do it.
Jen, you want to start?
Okay.
It's just because I have the episode title this way.
Top 3 gaming intros. That could be cinematic. It could
Okay.
be gameplay or whatever.
Okay.
Shit, I'm not even prepared for my topic. I have 2 out of 3.
Okay, I got a few. I wrote these down. So one of the ones that was memorable to me, I was trying to think of ones that like were different or like like get you into the mode that weren't in a traditional way. And one of them that came to mind was Arkham Asylum, because the whole thing starts off like it's an episode of Batman where you're like in the you're in the Batmobile, yes. Joker's with you, you've dropped him off at Arkham, and you're just walking through with him, and as he's like being Hannibal Lecter style, like locked away, and then shit goes south. And next thing you know, the game starts, and that's like the premise. And I thought it was such a cool, like, just ease, and it's like so familiar but so new at the same time because it has Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, which are like the animated voice actors. And yeah, I just was like, I'm in. Let's fucking go. Like, this is awesome. That was one of the ones I have.
So for mine, it probably has to be, because this is like, I would say one of my first RPGs, Final Fantasy.
Which Final? The
7.
first one? Oh, 7? Okay.
7. So that's the one where it starts out with like the whole, it's taking a picture. It's like panoramic or like an upward shot of the whole city, which I already forgot the name of the city. And then it kind of zooms in, like, and the whole time it's like cutting to the train, which is like the main focus of this shot. So showing the city, shows the train, goes back to the city, shows the train, and then eventually you see like it gets to the train, it stops the train, and then that's where Cloud hops out, and it shows like everything that's going on. And it kind of just turns into that mode where you're playing the character now.
Okay.
And I love like that little like
transition.
Yeah, that transition, because it's using the same graphics of the game, which aren't that great.
At the time, were.
At the time, yeah. So they're going to be remade, or it's being remade, remastered, whatever you want to call it. But that was like, I remember just playing that game in that intro, like, because I would play the game over and over and over. I would never beat it. Like, I mean, I've beaten the game, but whenever I would replay it, I'd always replay that beginning part, and that's something that just like stuck with me. So I really like that intro. That's one of mine.
Mine is also a Final Fantasy, but it's Final Fantasy 8. I like the way it's cut. It's when you look at it, it's very. So it shows like a beach, and then it just like words come like, I forgot what's the dreams will be dreams. I don't know.
Okay.
It's this weird, and then you see like the main character, and then you see the love interest, and then you see the bad guy, and then it's just like, there's all these quick cuts. It reminds me of a John Woo movie. There's like birds flying, and all of a sudden like you see the gunblade for the first time. You're like, oh shit, and you see the main character and the bad guy just in this fucking battle, dude.
While is music playing?
Yeah, while this like dramatic,
Okay.
like this opera, it's just like fucking epic, dude. And then you see how he gets his scar, and they both give each other scars, pretty much. So
so is this all like actual things that happened leading up to the start of the thing? Oh, okay. I thought it was sort of like a music video-y, like it's symbolic or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the music and the cuts made it really like epic, like and they get like more frenetic.
Yeah.
And then Final Fantasy 8.
Yeah. I'll give another one. To go more in the vein of what you just said, WCW NWO Revenge. That's a wrestling game for those that don't know. What blew my, and it's still to this day one of my favorite like intro, like right before the start button, it's like I'm like, don't skip it. And what it is it's like it looks like it's not like anything. It just looks like it's a cinematic. You're like, okay, what is this? And it's rain. It's like a freeway in the middle of nowhere, and you hear like a semi truck, and all of a sudden like thunder's clashing, and all of a sudden you see a silhouette. It's like it's going over hills, and it goes to close up of like like up front of it coming the semi truck coming towards the camera, and in the lightning and everything, all of a sudden. A shadow shows up, and it's like a trench coat. Looks like the Crow. He's got a bat. And all of a sudden, you hear like the semi truck screeching to a halt, and he's like, "What?" And you see it pan up, and you see Sting, the famous wrestler's face, and all he's like, what? And all of a sudden a heartbeat starts, goes like, don't. And then like this rock's like dun 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 dun, and it goes into like a music video from that point, and I'm like, it gets very rock intensive and montage of all these wrestlers. But meanwhile, like what was weird, like when I think back to it, it's doing a montage of all these wrestling. You're like, okay, fine, whatever. This is video gaming, but it keeps going back to Sting, and then it starts showing Hulk Hogan as like this like opposing force, and it's almost like, I don't know, like not mythical, but like. It's sort of like got that epic feel to it, like what you were saying, where it's like he's this one force of rock and he's this one force of like dooming. Like you got Hulk and Sting, and at the end of it, it just shows them facing off, and then it goes to like Titantron, press start to begin. I'm like, I'm fucking ready to wrestle, dude. Like, it gets me so hyped.
Got you in the mood.
Yeah, I love this song they play too.
Mine is, I believe it's Borderlands 2. It's got the train.
One. Yeah.
Is that 2 or is that 1? I can't remember.
I think that's 2 because 1 had the car. I thought one.
So I don't remember if 2 has the train and a car. Like they're kind of like fighting it out, and then on the train it's got the psychos that are playing music on top of the train.
With the music?
Yeah, with the music. But I feel like they're also kind of racing a car at the same time.
I think that's 2.
Yeah, and
because the song from 2 was the one I remember more. It's like ain't no like I forget what it's called.
So I love like
all
the small
one.
things
That's
that are happening as the intro's coming on. Oh man, that's such a good one.
And they do such a good job, not just with the intro, but also with boss intros. Like it's consistent throughout the game because like every time a boss is like, "Hey, fucking shit, bullshit,"
and then it tells you the title of the guy. Fucking
yeah, I like that style. It's good.
Mine is from a guy hopefully I'll meet at Comic-Con this week. Kojima Hentai, Hideo Kojima. Metal Gear Solid 2. The intro. So it shows like Snake, it's raining.
Yeah.
And then he's in his invisible suit, and all of a sudden he just takes off his trench coat and you just see him running like on a bridge, and then he like jumps onto the tanker or the ship.
It's like
and
mysterious.
it's like the music is like dun 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 dun. I think the composer, I think he did the Rock, the movie The Rock.
Oh, shit.
I'm not sure. He did The Rock, and he did another big film, Enemy of the State. So they got they got
that fits very much in the tone of Metal Gear Solid 2. Okay, I'll go with another one. It's a tie. Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3. I thought they both...
Really? I think Uncharted... Oh, no. You're right.
2 was the train.
Yeah, 3's the kid, young Drake, right?
No. 3's the casino. Not casino, but like it's a restaurant. And there's like the bar fight.
Oh, yeah.
I thought both of them are very much like Indiana Jones vibe to me. And like they capture that essence of like, holy shit, like what the fuck is about to happen or just happened. It kind of gets you right in the midst of it, and then you just gets going. And it's funny because the dialogue that goes along with it just keeps adding to it. Like something Naughty Dog just does so well.
According to J.J. Abrams, that's the best video game intro he's ever seen. Uncharted 2.
2?
Yeah, the train.
Oh my God,
You wake up and you're like, huh? And you're like hanging sideways, like, huh?
That was like, how do you raise the stakes from 1? Which was 1 at the time, I think, when it first came out, wasn't as known until later when the other ones could. But yeah. Do you have anyone?
Mine would be World of Warcraft, like the very original, which
the fucking cinematics.
Yeah,
dude.
which all their cinematics.
You should
are
just
amazing.
say Blizzard.
Blizzard, boom, done, drop. No, but like they're re-releasing the original World of Warcraft.
Right.
They're calling it like World of Warcraft Classic, and so with that entails the original cinematic where it just shows different scenes, like different cities. But one of them, like the main one that's always huge, is it shows a dwarven hunter with his pet in the snow.
In the snow.
Oh my gosh!
I always remember that one.
And it always looks so
and he like
good.
looks off and the fucking I'm like, this game is vast. Like it's
dude. And what's funny is like when they came out with the World of Warcraft movie. Which I was like, dude, they make fantastic cinematic. And the movie, like, it looks beautiful. Yeah. And I don't know if they plan to make more, but
it didn't do well, so I don't know.
I mean, I know.
But I really want to know.
Overseas, I think.
Maybe, yeah. What I want to know is what did that movie cost, and what would have been projected cost if they did all of like whatever their cinematics are, but like a full feature length film in that style.
Yeah.
Like what would have the cost been for both, And is it like how different would that have been? Because I would think that people would have loved to see a full movie.
Yeah, but Blizzard, oh my god, dude, they kill it on all their cinematics. See, they got.
They could do a cinematic of like a guy, like an orc, epically taking a shit in a stall while Diablo like walks by a grocery store
in pitch black while someone walks in.
And I'm like, this is fucking gold. Like,
God damn it.
This just came to me. There's a dog that's naughty. The Last of Us.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say this one.
Talk about I can't. That's like the up of video games. That intro, just so much gravitas.
I wonder what they're like. We want up for this game.
Say
like,
no
fuck
more.
them up.
But that I would say that's an intro that you pretty much kind of played, no? Like
Yeah, you play that,
Yeah.
but like it sets.
Definitely. There's no like what I like about that is there's no like you can't change. Like you can't change the outcome. There's no like because after that game starts, I feel like there's paths you can take. There's different things that can happen. I mean, it's still linear in a sense, but there's different outcomes at the end of like how you got to the end. I don't know. It's
That's it's a very important. That part is very important because it shows you how he reacts to Ellie.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's such a good one.
Well, like I think of that as a setup for Joel, but then there's the part where you see things from Elle's perspective, and then they meet. It's interesting. It makes me think of the same way you brought up Borderlands, where it gives you the tone of this game. Like it's very much like I know I'm in for a ride, whatever that ride is.
Definitely.
I'm gonna go with God of War, and I'm gonna talk about the more so the intro fight. Like that was the tone of that game. It's like, okay, we got the cinematic feel. We got that it's like one shot and like actually even from the get-go, like where the game starts where like the tree's there and you're standing next to it and all of a sudden the game starts and it literally just has that camera panning around him and it's like, oh, it's not cutting to a different screen and then loading. And then the fucking like Dragon Ball Z fight he has at the beginning, I'm like, oh fuck, like
every God of War game, the first boss battle, just fucking amazing, and then it just goes downhill. I mean, every boss battle in the beginning,
you need to play this fucking game.
It's fucking good.
I still want you to play this.
Every boss battle is good. In the
Valkyries,
beginning
dude.
boss.
That's all you need to know is Valkyries.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it in the morning stream.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you ever finish Doom? Yeah. Did you ever finish Wolfenstein? Yeah.
Did I ever finish
you
LA
ever finish
Noire?
Stranger Things?
LA Noire? No. Did I ever finish Grand Theft Auto Vice City? Nope.
Did you have a dream?
Broken promises, broken dreams. That's my stream, dude.
Have you ever had a dream?
Do you have any more?
I have no more.
Honorable mention. I can't think. There was Final Fantasy 6. Fuck.
I got
There
one.
was one.
Dude, my biggest one is Final Fantasy X.
Quake 2. Trent Reznor. There's a scene where like, so you're in a spaceship, fucking it's crashing. You had to land on I think it's Mars. But you had to land on a planet. And there's a scene where you're like, and then Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails is playing. It's made the soundtrack. There's a scene where you're like, oh, we're gonna hit. It goes, oh. There's this cool scene where the spaceship like strays sideways and the music stopped and you just. It's like that's
that music. That game had good music.
That's cool.
I got two honorable mentions. One, I'm gonna lump this together. Mass Effect 2 and 3. 2 was cool because like it. 1 is such like an epic, and you're like, okay, what are they gonna do with 2? And 2 kind of had a similar vibe, but not as strong as Uncharted 2, where it just starts things off on such a low point and then it picks things up. And then 3 was just like shit's hit the fan, and you're like, okay, we're in the end game now.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like end game. We're like, oh fuck. And the last thing I wanted to say was Fallout 3, the intro to that.
Oh, yeah.
I love like that whole beginning part. Just feels so like mild, but you're just doing the character creation. But then when the vault opens, like that was where I was like, oh shit, like now the game has begun. It was like that's where I felt credit.
In New Vegas, it has a cinematic with like a sniper shot, right?
I think
In the beginning.
I don't remember it. As
Yeah,
well.
I can't remember it very well.
I just know that your memory is blank, or
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out who you are. But yeah,
Yeah, and mine. The reason the Final Fantasy one is cinema is a mention is because I don't think it's the actual intro. I don't remember the actual intro of the game, But the cinematic that I remember the most is once you actually get moved over to the different area that you're supposed to start the game, you have to do, or is it the beginning of the game? It is the beginning of the game. Because you're a famous blitzball player. And so you go to the match that you're supposed to go to, and then when you get there, it starts the whole cinematic of like the arena being filled with water, and you're just like hiding somewhere because you're like in the aqueducts or whatever because you don't want to like be around all the people that are there because you're kind of famous. And just that whole shot, like it looks terrible when you like look at it now. But I remember when I first played this game, I was like, dude, my eyes were glowing. Like I was like, this is amazing. And I can't wait to see what technology does with how far you can go with these cinematics.
You'll be in Blitzball VR. All right. Next topic.
Which will be mine?
Sure.
So mine was, it's a simple one today. So since I've been on an anime spike here, I wanted to bring up Avatar: The Last Airbender and see if you guys... So there's 4 elements or 4 controllable elements in the whole anime. We've got earth, water, fire, and air. And my question to you guys is, what out of those 4 elements would you guys choose as an ability if we were in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender? I don't know if you guys want to start.
I feel like that last part changes my answer.
Oh well, okay.
No, that's fine.
No.
No.
Well, I say in the world of Avatar, but because
like
we would have
airbenders are rare.
Right.
I feel like if I was an airbender, then all the attention would be on. Like I'm thinking in that context.
Gotcha.
If I was a firebender, I'd be like, "Fuck, are we the baddies?"
But you're referring to when I said in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender, or
Yes.
Okay. So when I say that, I mean because that's where I feel like we could have the powers. But
Sure. No, I'm not questioning. I'm not criticizing the question. It just my initial thought when you briefed us was just having the powers. Now I'm like, I have these powers in that place.
Gotcha.
I'm like, I feel like my answer might differ because of that.
Right,
and
right.
that's an interesting way to look at it. So,
Gotcha.
I don't know. I gotta think an extra second on that one.
Well, I can start.
Okay.
So I feel like this is a tough decision. There's different things you can do. I think ultimately I would choose Earth as my ability, and I think it's because of the Earthbending character, one of the main characters in I forget their name, Tao. I forgot. The girl, the blind one. Either way,
yeah.
The fact that she can she uses the vibrations in Earth to be able to see. I think that's just it's a cool thing. It reminds me of ninja type abilities essentially, and then gets so proficient in that ability that she can start bending metal.
Yeah, metal bending, bro.
That's
advanced,
really cool.
Advanced classes
Some
unlocked.
advanced. I mean, but waterbending's got some pretty cool advanced ones too.
Waterbending is scary.
But yeah, I mean, Earth, dude, that's just such a cool thing because you can I could build my own home, just just cause it to just come up and stuff like that.
Right.
Different things, move, clear lands that I need to, you're in my way, just move it out of the way,
I felt like though the Earth tribes were very rigid. I mean, as part there was a lot of characteristics they share with their abilities, and
Yeah.
part of it was their society was very rigid and wouldn't adapt or change too much because of changing times.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that might be something in the back of my head all the time. And they had a very big class system thing. If I remember correctly, if you were lowborn, you're lowborn. If you're highborn, you're highborn. And certain people were trying to break that, but that was always the one that, because I love the Earthbending for all those same reasons. But when I was thinking about their place that they lived, I was like, man, as long as I don't have to deal with the politics, I think I'd be okay. Because they have the secret police too.
Yeah.
Those people scared the shit out of me. You would just be like, you're gone. We're gonna make you disappear. It's like, oh fuck.
I've never seen the show, but I'm gonna pick water.
I mean,
Because-
I feel like
Yeah.
it's easy enough to understand the ability.
Bruce Lee, be
Be
like
like water.
very destructive, but also can give life.
So just to explain why I feel like waterbending is so destructive is the whole concept that we have water inside our bodies. So there's certain characters that get so proficient.
Women characters.
That-
One time a month, they have the ability to
So
control blood.
supposedly when it's like a full red moon is when like these characters can get their full abilities. But later on, I think it's in Korra. We find that there's a character who can do it at any moment and any given time. They can control people because they can control the water that's in the blood, essentially the content of
It
water.
makes me
in
think of Magneto in
Jesus
X-Men
Christ.
2, where they give the guy too much iron and then he just can control him.
Yeah.
I'm like, imagine that, but you didn't have to do that with the iron. Fuck.
That's crazy.
But yeah, they call it blood bending, which is it's an illegal practice. But I think at the time like didn't realize like anyone would ever get the ability ever again.
Very few, yeah.
Yeah, and then even then, certain people can only do it when like the moon's out because that's when they're strongest for water bending.
But what was also cool with the water bending was like it's water, ice, vapors, moisture. So like you can condense it. You can like the really like powerful ones could like manipulate water in all its states.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. Like you can make fog all of a sudden, just mist it up. I think I could go air. I like flying. I like just being able to like not have to worry about traffic.
Like France, the hoverboard guy.
I mean, I can't fly, but I can just make the dirt move me.
Sure, but look, think of all the fucking
I can make it toss me, and then I just like have a landing spot for myself.
fair. Okay, fine.
Make quicksand or something.
But then you could just like float. You just like, I'd be like a squirrel. I always liked Aang's little wing suit thing. I don't know. Airbending was always cool to me. But I like whenever people ask me, I think of it the same way. Whenever people ask me, like, if you had an ability, what would you like? Flight, strength, this, that. Flight was always one that was always.
you should watch Shazam. He gets asked, "Would you rather choose flight or invisibility?"
Flight.
Yeah.
Well, he chooses something else. So
Woo! You know,
That's still not in Redbox.
Shazam. That intro is fucking good. It's still to me, it stands out.
Next
like,
topic. Best movie intros.
Yeah, dude. Dude, that intro world building, fucking good. So good.
I don't know. I feel like it wasn't that great to me, but
Damn.
that's my.
It's
I
better
guess
than-
I gotta see this movie.
It's better than Spider-Man.
Is it better than Midsommar?
It's not a quick question, not a quick answer.
Yeah, airbending.
Yeah.
I like it. But again, thinking of the context of it, at least in Avatar, it was just like if they saw you at airbending, they were like you were ostracized, you were isolated, you were extinct pretty
Yeah.
much. And so I'd be like, man, I wouldn't have anyone to share this with or be around. But at the same time, I'd be unique and I could kind of like do my own thing. So it's a give or take depending on how I wanted to. And also, fucking the air bisons.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like if that comes with it, yeah, easy. Appa, the best.
yeah, dude. That's one of the best things I think is that animal, specifically Appa.
They had cool creatures in that.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that does it for my topic. It's a quick one.
Speedrun topic.
Speedrun.
All right, my topic, just in the vein of conventions.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of touched on this last week after the show. We were talking about like where conventions should be held. If they were held in other locations, would it be better or worse? And so I thought I'd make that topic of thinking of some of the conventions you frequent or you've gone to in your past, and you could decide to relocate them to another convention center, another city, another state that you think would be better suited for the convention or something like that. What would you do and why? Just to quickly give you an idea of like some conventions that could be brought up. I don't know if you already have some in mind. PAX, Comic-Con, Anime Expo, BlizzCon, QuakeCon, WonderCon, E3, TwitchCon, VidCon. Those are some of the ones. Like there's some that are like LA Kamikaze. It's like that's an LA convention because it's Long Beach Comic-Con. Like those are unique to like, but some of these other ones are like arbitrary to wherever they are. I open the floor to you guys.
So I have to start out with saying I'm not very well versed in locations. I only know most of Southern California.
Sure.
And then specifically one in Washington. And so thinking about it that way, I would actually like to try to see Anime Expo in Washington.
State?
No, we're where we were at the Seattle.
Yeah.
What was it? That was just the Seattle convention.
Yeah.
Because dude, there's hotels on hotels on hotels. Like
That's true.
there is enough to compensate everyone to stay somewhere.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the biggest things is, especially for Anime Expo, is like I feel like it's not just to say that it's the exclusive of this Comic-Con or this convention, but I feel like a lot of people tend to come with, obviously like they won't come with one set of cosplay. Like they come with like 3 different, 4 different.
It's very
ones.
cosplay centric.
Exactly. Every day they'll come with like a different costume, so they have to carry all that to them. And if they're coming from out of state, I just feel like LA. Terrible spot for parking. Doesn't necessarily mean you need it. Like not everyone, is going to have a car. Same thing. Like when we were in Washington, Seattle, we didn't have to have a car. We walked usually most of the spots. But I feel like it's a nice close area where all the hotels are at. So like it's just like enough room for people to stay in. You're not fighting over hotels like Comic-Con specifically.
Sure.
Where you have a raffle to try to get all this stuff. And on top of that, you have a raffle for parking. Apparently too.
Yep.
Also, everything's like, it's layered.
Yeah.
So you don't have to walk a lot.
Yeah.
You just take the escalator.
Which was something like New York, dude. I realized I'd walked everywhere there, dude.
Like LA Convention Center, you just got to walk this long
Fucking
hallway.
This side to that side. Yeah.
For me, convenience, Anime Expo, close, spacious. Space is a fucking key part. I feel like San Diego is just too like cramped. It's just like I feel San Diego's more packed than Anime Expo, but Anime Expo is in LA. But I'm just saying I feel like Anaheim has probably the biggest.
Anaheim.
Yeah, Anaheim
okay.
has the biggest space. So I'm all about space. So like I just don't want to feel fucking cramped. Like
I feel like LA convention is bigger though. No,
Really?
The LA Convention Center.
Capacity?
Yeah, capacity wise.
I think because of the layers, there's like the parking structure underneath it. There's the Staples Center next to it. There's the split hall that they have. They have a weird space layout of
Gotcha.
square footage that somehow makes it bigger. Like I still don't believe it's bigger than San Diego's, but I guess I thinking of that, I could be like I can see it. I guess
God, dang.
it blows my mind.
Yeah.
But I think the surrounding area doesn't feel as cramped. So you would put Anime Expo in Anaheim.
or count Comic-Con. All the conventions in Anaheim.
Oh, you're just saying like
it's
that's where
close.
you would-
Convenience.
It's
And
close
those are all his answers.
and
Okay.
spacious.
That's an easy. Okay.
Spacious is number one. Spacious is number one though.
They're expanding, or they're upgrading the Anaheim Convention Center.
Really?
Yeah, like they've been slowly like.
Where will it expand?
Not expanding. Sorry, they've been upgrading it. Like I don't know if they're like actually expanding.
Yeah, I
but
was like,
they're
where could they go?
reconstructing a lot of the building that they have
Okay.
there.
Which is where I've been to a couple conventions where they don't allocate all the space,
No.
like PlayStation Experience.
That
and-
theater, the auditorium area, that's perfect for like masquerade things. So I had a few ideas with that. I was thinking with the Anime Expo, I'll bring that one up for instance. The two things that I thought were like key is Anime Expo tends to have a very big international audience.
Mm-hmm.
And it tends to be very cosplay centric, so I think photo opportunities are important. So I was
So by the
thinking
pier.
of that, but also space for that, like in tandem with it. So I'd say 3 things. So the places I was gonna put, if I were to take it out of LA and put it somewhere else, I had 2 places in mind.
Okay.
San Diego, because I feel like that open area all around the convention center, like behind it where people like do Hall H lines, people could take all kinds of photos there. The downside is it does get cramped if you're trying to walk around in costumes. Like that's the one thing about Comic-Con is that I rarely see half as much cosplay at Comic-Con as a result of how crowded it can
Yeah.
get. So I would say maybe that hurts or helps it. But then the other place I was going to say was Vegas. I know Vegas is a huge convention center, and Comic-Con is considered being like they got offers to go to Vegas, and there's tons of hotels. The only thing there for me is the heat. I feel like,
You'd normally be inside.
yeah, that's the other thing. You could go between all these conventions inside. There could be all kinds of parties at all the different hotels.
My question is, I've been to Las Vegas a lot, like specifically, because Las Vegas is like gambling. I I don't know if I've ever seen the actual convention. Is it on the Strip or is it away from
It's
that?
near it.
Okay.
I haven't been to it myself,
Okay.
but I know CES is there. It's like a tech expo.
Okay.
And I've heard a lot of concerts are there, and they're like this
Way more,
huge space.
Yeah.
And so I'm always like, I guess like if they've renovated a lot of the hotel areas to
Yeah.
work with that and make like a week of it, like that could be crazy for any of these larger ones. So I thought of like Vegas for both Anime Expo, a little bit for Comic-Con. I just don't want to see Comic-Con go there. It's more personal bias.
Yeah.
But I thought another convention that could do well or two conventions that could do well in Vegas are E3. A lot of press stuff, so you got a lot of hotel conference rooms and this and that. And QuakeCon, because QuakeCon tends to be very indoor and gaming, and like they could just get like LAN rooms going like all across the place. So I was thinking of Vegas in that vein.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anime Expo, Vegas and San Diego were. I think Anaheim would be good. I was just worried that the space would not be as much as LA's. But another thing for Vegas that gives it points is a lot of people internationally go to Vegas as well as LA. LA, that's why I feel like has a thing going for it there. Is it's really close to the airport.
Yeah.
Did you guys have other conventions or cities or?
Yeah, because again, I don't have much.
Would you move like
knowledge.
BlizzCon? Do you think that would be better suited anywhere else?
Yeah, I'd move it to like Alaska.
Oh, okay.
I don't like Long Beach Convention Center. I feel
Huh?
it's too. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's made for a certain convention, which
Yeah.
is Long Beach Comic Con, which is small.
Didn't Twitch do theirs there once?
I think so.
How did
I'd be
that go?
okay with it if they fucking
Well,
opened all the sides.
Yeah.
God damn it! Like
They
you walk to
limit-
the
it's
back,
like-
yeah, and you're just like, I gotta walk all the way back around again.
Yeah.
TwitchCon, there's not a lot of stuff, so they don't need that much space.
I would-
Really.
Yeah, I had TwitchCon at both LA possibly because LA is such a hub for like so much creative, like all the sorts of Hollywoody stuff. And I also had it at Seattle because I felt like the multi like PAX feels very twitchy in a lot of ways. There's a lot of streamers, content creators, and I feel like this would be another avenue for that.
I would move TwitchCon to Anaheim Convention Center.
I'd move in I would be the same way. I'd move everything to Anaheim. I love Anaheim Convention. But I was trying to think of like what would better suit certain conventions, and like E3. I feel like maybe LA is too much for it at this point because less. If the trend continues where less game studios go there, they could have maybe a different vibe at Anaheim and do something else. But I feel like the downside there. And maybe this might be something they could leverage, be like, okay, EA and Microsoft and all these people want to do their events around E3, but not at E3. Well, now if E3 moves to Anaheim, it forces all these other companies' hands to be like, well, we can't be around them anymore, so maybe we won't get that like side crowd that they have. So, I don't know. But I would definitely like to do Bethesda's thing and like all these other ones around Anaheim, like around Disneyland area and stuff, so. Who knows?
That's the one thing I like about Comic-Con is that they've taken advantage of the outside area, like to the max. Like they will close down streets and do that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I just, at least for me, I find it hard to be able to move Comic-Con outside
It's gotten
of there.
offers. I don't understand another area that could take it. Like Seattle comes to mind, the same way you brought up.
Because they had like, when we went there for PAX, like, there is a whole spot dedicated, and this was probably because it was rented by them, Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like they had like a whole spot that made it seem like kind of like a beachside area,
Yeah.
you know, like a little hilltop, like aiming downwards towards the TV, and then they had like freaking free burgers and ice cream, which was insane.
I think because San Diego has so much of their downtown bar scene and nightlife right next to that convention center, it works so well. I don't think all of like when we go to PAX late at night, a lot of the nearby stuff is shopping center malls, and they're closed at like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So they don't like if that was down like all the bars and stuff. I feel like that might be another part of town, but like this is right next to it. And I was reading recently. I'm pulling up a tweet by San Diego's regional like Twitter account. They're saying this event brings in about 135 attendees to that convention by itself. And that's not including people that do the stuff outside, which is not, you don't need entry for. And roughly for the regional area, it generates about $149 million for the economy for that
for
whole
that.
area. It does have, parking restrictions, but then people take Ubers, Lyfts, and all this sorts of stuff. So there's all these like businesses surrounding like part of the city. I feel like LA gets a little bit of that, but like not to that same vibe. And that's why I'm like, there's just this chemistry that works well with.
That's the thing, though, is I think the city of San Diego has taken advantage of this, like, because they will close down streets. Like, I can't see that happening in LA. I can't see it happening.
But like Vegas, maybe, like that could really like if people are like at a convention, they're like, I'm gonna go drink and then like gamble.
If it's as big as the spot says, I don't even need it outside. But the thing is, a lot of the events, at least with Comic-Con, I don't think. Obviously, there are things having to do with Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I don't think they're there because it's not within Comic-Con. It's all outside stuff. You don't need a badge. You don't need a ticket to do a lot of the stuff on the outside. So I think it's just places taking advantage of the fact that they have all this extra room on the outside.
Yeah.
And they open up to everyone, which I think is always really cool. Like there's so much to do. Even if you can't attend Comic-Con, you can go to San Diego on that day and enjoy a lot of the stuff there is to do outside.
And I would argue for Anaheim's place that something they should do is somehow Disney partners with them. I'm surprised Disney hasn't made any moves on them yet because they share so much close real estate that like people will be like, oh, I'll go to Disneyland after or before, WonderCon or something. They could maybe like get premier stuff activities done that are like Disney related.
I think logistic wise, it's a lot, to have.
I mean, it is already. I'm just saying, like that way they like Disney has the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think that's an issue. I just feel like it's more like you said, maybe logistics of like what they would do without like, because Disney has their own convention.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just a dialogue I wanted to have. Like, things are the way they are, but like there was a year where WonderCon moved to LA. And I didn't like that year, and then it went back the next year because Anaheim's convention center was under construction. They're like, we're gonna host it in LA, but I really didn't like that year.
I think possibly a lot of people didn't like it, but I think it builds that reputation of the location it's at. It's
But
always
like,
been in LA or in Anaheim.
I just when too many conventions I'm wondering if this would also happen if all of a sudden we moved every convention to Anaheim. Like Long Beach and LA, when I go to like let's say TwitchCon, Long Beach Comic Con, and then like LA has LA Kamikaze, Anime, E3. Like when you go to enough of these things at the same convention center, I'm like it starts to feel all the same, and you're like, what's the difference? Like we've talked about this, like. It's felt like the last 4 conventions. Like I didn't do anything different. I just walked around and saw the same
You only
shit.
go for the guests. No, that's
like
me. That's me.
Well, for me, like I like the ambience of it. Like that makes it unique. But like if every convention was then at Anaheim, then I'm wondering would I have that? Would I still feel as strongly as I do, or would I be like it's all the same now?
Yeah, like I think we really enjoyed PAX because it was nowhere near where we're at.
Yeah, it was a nice change of pace. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same with Comic-Con. It's like, oh, it's in San Diego. It's kind of a nice change of pace. It's like
it's just a tad bit further out than I'd like.
Sure. They do have a lot of options of like, okay, you could drive, you could, people fly in from further away, but then you could take the train. I like the accessibility. Like you can't just have a train drop you off next to LA.
The whole train thing too.
Like at the convention center?
It's probably like 5 minutes walking.
Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe I haven't explored it, but the area seems kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
I think that's where I would.
Guns pulled out.
I think I'd be worried. I guess maybe it is there, but it's just I'd be worried of.
Yeah, it is sketchy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That was my topic.
Yeah. And
Little
that's kind of
little food for thought. We'll think about it while we're there.
Where do you guys think audience was? Where do you guys think? If you guys listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm curious what people enjoy because I know friends that don't even go to a lot of the conventions we go to. I rarely go to Anime Expo. I've only gone a handful of times, but then people love Anime Expo. But then other people go to these Anime LA or the other ones where it's hotel focused.
I want to go to a convention in Britain, England, because I heard when they line up, it's very organized. Queuing, it's called queuing, and they're very organized. It's not like a gaggle.
I want to go to if I went to a really different one, I'd want to go to the Tokyo Game Show.
Yes,
that one seems like it'd be very different.
Gamescom.
Yeah,
Germany.
Yeah.
I know the one place I haven't had issue with heat is the Anaheim Convention Center.
Oh, hell.
Because it feels very well ventilated, or like it's air conditioned. But
Comic Con's well ventilated. It's
Yeah.
just usually because it's in the summer, the outside is so hot.
exactly.
The onions.
that too, yeah.
But I feel like LA Convention Center hasn't felt like, because I went one time to Anime Expo, and I was like, it's fucking hot whether I'm inside or outside. This is ridiculous, dude.
But
know,
did you guys see the weather for San Diego?
Fucking blessed this year.
Is it raining?
Low 70s.
Outside's gonna be packed then. All 4 days.
I'm so happy.
When we went for Game of Thrones, it was pretty cloudy in the beginning. Like good first 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, you know, but too bad we were there for 8 hours. You know what? It wasn't worth it with the ending, the season finale, or the whole series finale. Yeah.
Okay, quick Comic-Con, like, what bets? Do you think... I mean, there's all kinds of news at Comic-Con. Do you think J.R. Martin will announce the date of his book?
No.
I mean, it'd be cool, but
I just don't see it happening.
No, yeah. Do you think it would
Or
happen?
at least not at Comic Con. He can announce it that weekend.
I
you
mean,
know?
Comic-Con, he was there in the early days of it where it was just like a conference room. So
Which
I feel
is
like he could come back. He's like, I'm back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like he'd hold a grudge against Comic Con. Like it's grown too big.
Really? I don't
Yeah.
think- why would he hold a grudge against it?
Well, not like saying like he hates Comic Con, but like I feel like if he's been there since the beginning, he feels like it's changed completely to what the objective of having this convention in the first place was. And
Maybe.
so-
I don't know. I don't know enough about what he thinks, but yeah, maybe.
I'm trying to keep spending. I've got an eye on a couple things, but I feel like everything's an exclusive. Oh, this is an exclusive.
I want to see how many stickers you come back with on that
Oh,
water
no,
bottle.
no stickers.
No?
I'm trying to buy some comic books. There's a Lock and Key issue.
I got tricked by this shit before.
Wait, what?
Where they were
Oh, no,
like
no, 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 it's not-
exclusive,
whoa.
and then I show up at 3 other conventions. It's the same exclusive.
It might be an exclusive though. Not for this convention, but you can't buy it outside of Comic Con. You can't buy
That's
it.
what they said last time. And next thing I go to WonderCon, it's right there.
It's
And I
probably
bought
because of
it.
the surplus, though.
Yeah,
They just
always
made too much.
They don't always like when they say they sold out. It's not.
They didn't sell it.
No, but I bet you can't find it anymore. That exclusive.
Anymore.
We'll see if it's there. We'll let you know.
See, but if you find it at Comic Con, it's not fair because that's the exclusive. That's where it's at, dude.
I'll wait till WonderCon, and I'll look for it again, and it'll be there in the bin.
I bought it.
I mean, it's the same group though that creates all that.
Okay, you keep putting up rules. Where can people find you guys?
They can find me everywhere at the Folio, but not really.
At the Lost Bosses everywhere.
Find me at Couture Prime. You can find us all at the Weekly DLC. Please let us know what you think of your favorite video game intros. What airbending, play some games. If you have any conventions you like or convention centers you like. Maybe there's some we haven't heard of. I'm going to BlizzCon for the first time this year, so we'll see how that
Nice.
is. Until next time, Will.
DLC.
You later.